Live. What's good, y'all? It's your man, BL Saint. Welcome. I really want to know podcast, man. How y'all feeling? Happy Monday. How y'all feeling out there? Just checking the audio. Audio looks good. Feed looks like it's going out to the world. How y'all feeling out there, man? Happy Monday. Happy Monday, man. I did a video on the car today. It should be out there. Sometimes it takes longer for the videos to upload for some reason when I do them on the phone, but whatever. But I think it's out there now. I'm gonna make a thumbnail to it eventually. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna call it a close call, but you definitely want to keep your head on the swivel when you're out and about in these streets, especially with the economy going the way the economy is going. I'm telling you guys, I've been saying this for a couple of years now. Certain crimes are going to go up. There's going to be an increase in muggings. There's going to be an increase in robberies, home invasions, carjackings, stuff like that. So keep your eyes open, guys. When you're out and about, pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to who is around you and what they're doing. And, be prepared. If you live in a Second Amendment friendly state, make sure, I would say, to go out there, get you a concealed carry, get you get some classes. If you don't have any experience, some of us, we have training, we have experience. Once upon a time I was a soldier. But if you don't have any kind of experience like that, sign up, take some courses, find a reputable instructor that's going to tell you what's really going on. Even if you're in California, not friendly, not a Second Amendment friendly state, but there are parts of, especially Northern California, you can get a concealed carry. You have to go through a pretty stringent process, but that's fine. Go through it, get your concealed carry. That's just my take on it. That's my advice. Take it or leave it. But yeah, I had a little, what I thought could have been a situation, looked like something was developing, but I kept my eyes on it. I was prepared, of course. And, I'm here. Nothing happened. Maybe I misread the situation. Maybe it was just someone who was lost looking for a particular address. Or maybe, there were some guys out there, some wolves who were out there hunting, and they came across me and saw that I was a wolf as well. And I'm here to tell you, bad guys want soft targets. They don't want hard targets. They don't want it. So that's just my take on that. Today, this video, we're going to talk about dating stuff, man. We're going to talk about the F-boys out there. We're going to talk about how hard it is or how easy it is, depending on how you want to look at it, to be successful in the dating game. It's not that difficult, guys. You just have to be willing to do the work. Rich Cooper had a guy on today on his show, Entrepreneurs in Cars, and they were talking about this. I saw just a few minutes of it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop watching this now so we can talk about it on this platform, because it's a good question. It's a good conversation. It's one that we definitely need to have right here. So let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed. So, on this platform, we definitely talk about dating and the sexual marketplace and the red pill stuff and all that over here. We were shooting an episode of Spoken and Smoke. Spoken and Smoke is a podcast that I'm producing and co-starring, we're co-hosting with Will Golston, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion. We got together. We're working on this pod. We're going to start dropping soon, guys. We, you know how we get down. I've been in this business long enough now that I kind of know how to launch a platform. If you're trying to do something, and the key is you got to have the content. You got to be out there doing your thing. You have to be consistent. So we're just building up content before we release. So, once we do begin to drop shorts and start dropping episodes, we want to make sure we have plenty in the pipeline in case something comes up, like I get called away or Will get called away or Izzy, our tech guy, gets called away. We can still drop consistently, because that's the key on YouTube, and with podcasting. You just, once you start to build your audience, man, you got to keep the content coming. So we're sitting on, I think we're about 75, 80% there with the content that we want stored up. But we had so we're filming. We film every Friday. We had an episode Friday. It was a great episode. Shout out to Sister KP. She came through and just blessed us with a great conversation. But at one point during the conversation, we were talking about dating. And I was talking about helping guys to understand the dating game and getting themselves together. And one of the key points was I was discussing some issues that are common with the guys who come to me asking me questions. And one of my pet peeves, what makes me mad about the guys out here now, is dudes will go somewhere and they'll just lose all their confidence and become cowardly. There's no other way to put it, man. And they have that approach anxiety and will not approach women. And what gets me about that is, okay, you're not going to approach women. Cool. But the guys will immediately start talking about said woman. Oh, she's a 304. Oh, she's this, she's that, she's whatever. All negative stuff. Like, bro, you can't even go over there. You don't even know who she is. Like, what are you basing this on? So that's one of the things we were talking about. And when that episode drops, guys, I'll definitely let you know. I'll post it here so you guys can go check it out. But guys don't really understand that once you put in the work, once you figure out your game, that it's not that difficult to holler at women. It's not that difficult to be successful. It's really not that difficult to be a F-boy, right? To be a womanizer, to be a player. It's not that hard. You guys understand that women tend to want the same type of dude. So if you figure it out and you master the qualities that women value, then more women are going to come holler at you. More women are going to place themselves in your orbit, and it becomes easy. It becomes easy. You don't have to be some 6'4" Adonis who's ripped up with the six pack and the Lamborghini and the private jet and, has the rock band and he's successful and witty and funny and likes puppies. And a lot of guys think you got to be all that. Dudes will be like, man, I'm only 5'6". So I know a lot of dudes who are short, bro, be just slaying. You know what I'm saying? So no, it's not about that. Really, it's about confidence. It's confidence in yourself, confidence in your game, and just running it. So Rich Cooper has a guy on that this dude right here, his name is Jay, one of his names right here. And apparently this guy's in Southern California, like the LA area. And he's just talking about how he is really successful with these women. And when you look at Jay, there's nothing against his brother. I don't know him, never met him. Just looking at him, nothing special about this dude. Nothing special. But he's out there slaying it. How is this possible? He's done the work. He's figured it out. He's found his niche, so to speak. He knows his lane, and he's mastering it. And this is all y'all have to do, fellas. At the end of the day, that's really what it boils down to. So we're going to watch this. I'm going to throw my 2 cents in along as we go. Appreciate you guys. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Share this with someone. They may need to hear this and all that good stuff. And then we have a lot of people who I've been kind of posting some shorts. I got to start posting even more. I got to really get on that. I kind of got lazy and not posting the shorts and clips and stuff. But I see a lot of, we did that episode about the economy last week. And people seem to like that. So we're going to definitely talk more about the economy. I'm here to tell you guys, I think we're really headed for some very troubled waters when it comes to our economy. I'll probably come back later on tonight even to talk about it. But for now, we're going to talk about this red pill stuff. So this dating stuff. So let's check this out again. This is Rich Cooper, Entrepreneurs in Cars. The link this is already pinned in the description below. If you haven't seen this, if you haven't gone over to Rich Cooper's platform, please do. Go over, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff over there. And buy his book. Rich Cooper's book, which is behind me. Let me see if you guys can see it. I don't think you can. It is Unplugged Alpha. It's all the way back there. It's all the way back there. This is Rich Cooper's book, The Unplugged Alpha. You can get it on Amazon or wherever you're buying your books these days. Go and get this book. This is a great book for any guy out there who's struggling, for any guy out there who can't figure out, like, man, how come I'm not really being that successful with women, or why are all these women ghosting me? Why is it this is going bad? How come I seem to have trouble with these women? Check out that book, bro. Especially his chapter on red flags. Man, look, y'all need to get this book. I'm gonna show it to you one more time just so y'all can see it right here, bro. Right here, let me get my fingers out the way. There it is. Rich Cooper, The Unplugged Alpha Man. This was a really good read. Make sure you check it out. Rich Cooper did not pay me for that endorsement, man. I just like the book that much. I'm just telling you, I didn't get paid for that. Just, you guys should really check that book out. Give it a read. Some great information in there. So let's get into this video that he has with this guy, Jay. Let's just get into it. Here we go.
All right, gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to Playing to Win episode 105. I've got a excellent guest today that I think you're going to love. You probably never heard of him unless you're on Twitter and you follow me over there and see who I retweet or endorse from time to time. But I came across this character, Jay, here. I don't know who introduced me to you. I really can't remember. I don't know, maybe if you do, but I came across your stuff. You kind of ran from some trouble in Asia. I want you to tell that story because that was like some social media posts that forced you to leave, and then you kind of had to like get into America, to become a citizen, sort of stuff like that. You went through the Darien Gap or something. I saw your post at one point.
Oh, not that dramatic. So basically, about 10 years ago, I was an quote unquote influencer back in my home country. And I posted some stuff about religion, and I came from a Muslim country, Malaysia. So I got into a lot of trouble back then. They put me in jail and stuff. They want to put me in jail for many years. So I decided, you know what, fuck that. I don't want to live that life. And so I flew all the way to Mexico and then went all the way.
The post that you made that offended them so badly that was going to put you in jail?
It was just some religious stuff, It was if you really wanted to know the specifics, it was the Muslim month of fasting, and I was sort of ridiculing the whole fasting thing.
Got it.
And then they didn't like that.
Okay.
So,
hey, y'all, Muslim countries take their religion seriously, bro. Don't mess with them. Don't mess with them, especially during Ramadan. Don't mess with the prophet. Don't say anything negative. Like, we have free speech in America. You can say what you want about who you want, whatever it is, what it is. Free speech doesn't mean free of consequence. You might have somebody come look for you in America, but the government is not going to come lock you up. Now, there's a couple people out there who really push, they push boundaries. And they work with other groups who do things. So when the government comes for them, it's like, well, you align yourself with this organization. This organization is a criminal organization or a terrorist organization. So we're going to come after you for that. So, there are people who will try to suppress whatever it is you want to say, depending on what it is. But in Muslim countries, bro, man, they coming to see you, come snatch you right out your house, throw you in jail, man. Forget about it. You figure, oh, my day in court. Ain't no day in court. We're just going to decide how long we're going to leave you in that box. So this guy was saying what he was saying. It seems to me, he's like, I got to get out of this country. He said he went to Mexico, and he probably, I wonder what he did. I wonder if he came across the into America illegally. I doubt it, but maybe he did. Or maybe while he was in Mexico, he went to the U.S. Embassy and applied for asylum, which would be the smart thing to do, and come in legally. So let's see how he did it.
Basically, they were trying to put me in jail for many years. So I just decided, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to run to America, and I'm going to seek for asylum on the border with California. And apparently they took me in, and that's been
you walked across the border.
Yeah, I walked to the border, and I sort of like begged for asylum. My government is sort of picking on me.
Yeah,
can you help me out? But those were very different days because those were the Obama years. So, border guards a lot more friendlier back then.
Okay.
Right now, not so much.
Then you got your citizenship shortly after that, right?
I got my citizenship earlier this year.
Okay. And
so it took a while.
You worked in, I'm going to use.
It's funny, like, it's when people come over, when folks come from other countries fleeing some sort of oppression or fleeing a dictatorship or fleeing whatever they're fleeing. Like, this guy came from Malaysia into Mexico, and it sounds like he said he came up to the border. He came up to the border. he didn't say he crossed the border. So it sounds to me, instead of going to the American embassy in Mexico, he went to the border, found a border guard, and like he said, please help me. I'm seeking asylum. Can you help me? Can you help me? This is during the Obama years where they were able to help him. They put him on a path to citizenship, and he's now a citizen, which is hilarious because obviously this guy's probably more conservative, right? Which has got him in trouble in the first place with his views. But he come over here and it's like, if he tried to do that today, he wouldn't have made it into the country, not at the border. Maybe if he got into the, you know, picked the country and went to the embassy, maybe he could have got some asylum that way. But if he, you know, it just, to me, it's just funny how that works. You know what I mean? I talk to a lot of my conservative friends and they'll say stuff and I'm like, well, if it weren't for the libs, you wouldn't have that. If it wasn't for the libs, your business would have been over. If it wasn't for, you know what I mean? And it goes both ways sometimes. Sometimes, you know, the Republicans or the conservatives will do something. It's like, well, if it weren't for the conservatives, we would have had to deal with this. But I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Brother Mandrell is in the building. What's good, fam? How you feeling? Yeah, Mandrell, that video you sent me, bro, I already seen it. I already put it in my file. That's like definitely going to talk about it. I might even come back tonight and talk about it. I might do a late one tonight or just get up in the morning and do one in the morning. But we're going to talk about the economy, bro. But let's get back to this.
The word corn. I mean, you obviously know what I'm talking about, but, you know, we talked before we went live to sort of water down this for the YouTube algorithms a little bit, but you were involved in corn for a little bit. What was that part of your career like?
What?
You know, because I want to sort of like build up to this stuff that you're doing right now, because you're like a non-monogamous, like dating sort of F-boy today.
So basically, when I first came to LA, I did whatever jobs I can. And one of the jobs that I did over and over again was to be an extra in the film productions, regular film productions. So they paid about 100, 150 odd per day just to show up and be an extra, you know, but it takes like 10, 12.
And that's non-union, I believe. You just come in, you sign up. You want to be an extra in Hollywood, you go out there, they just sign up, you know, you just go and you sit there and they use you. If they use you, it's like $150 a day.
12 hours a day. I did that for a while. You know, I did whatever I could to survive back then. And then suddenly someone told me that, you know what, why don't you talk to this person? Maybe, you know, you can do something that pays a little more. And it turns out it's corn. And they told me to send some photos. I did. And I did my first scene in 2015. That's quite a while back. But I didn't really pursue it fully until, like, I would say 2019, 2020. That's when I started filming pretty often. Yeah.
And you're not.
You know what's funny about that, bro? Like, so he flees his country because he's being oppressed. They're gonna lock him up for his views. All right, get that. You know what I mean? This is why America, the greatest country on this planet. You know what I mean? Today, even with our problems, we're better than everywhere else, in my opinion. So he gets to America. He manages to get asylum, so he's able to get on a path of citizenship, like the legal path of citizenship from the start, which is smart. Right? That's very smart. He manages to do that. The timing was right. During the Obama years, he gets in so he can work. He's coming in. It's like, oh, I need to find work. Like, you're in LA, you're in Southern California, bro. It is hard to find work that's going to help you survive in LA. LA is so expensive, guys. And it's still expensive to this day, but it's ridiculous. Just to rent a room in someone's house in LA could be north of $800 a month, right? And you guys might think, well, that's not, that doesn't sound bad. Like, bro, you in a house with a bunch of other people, you're paying $800. I've seen them as high as, I've seen it as high as $2,600. Like a basic roommate deal, like, split floor plan. But you're talking about, it might be a 3-bedroom. It might have 9 people in there. Someone's renting the sofa. You know what I mean? Someone, you got a pair of people renting 1 bedroom, maybe 2 or 3 people rent another bedroom. They'll have to, in the bedrooms, they'll have bunk beds, bro. So it might be 2 or 3 beds in that. And all these people are sharing like 2 baths, maybe 2.5 baths. It's crazy. So you're paying $800 for that. If you get yourself a car, maybe you find yourself a used car or something like that, something beat up, you bought cash, just registering that car, man, that's a lot of money to register your car in LA. Gas is ridiculously high. Maintenance. So it's really difficult to kind of get yourself together. So this dude, he's a hustler. He's like, look, I'm going to go out, try to get into the movie business. I'm going to be an extra. Somebody said, just go be an extra. He was doing that, getting $150 a day. It doesn't mean you get that every day, guys. They don't pick the same extras every day. They come in and like pick, you might, get your run for 3 or 4 days, and then you might not work again for a month. So that's crazy. So he was like, man, how can I make money? And then they tell him, hey, you know what I mean? Why don't you go over here and do this adult film work? Now dude's going from $150 a day to probably like $1,000, depending on how many scenes he does, maybe a couple $1,000 a day or a week. So that's that life. That's that LA life, man. That's fast paced. So this guy comes over here. Now he's in the adult film business. And what's funny is he's probably telling dudes this story as a guy, like, yo, you were in adult film. Who'd you do scenes with? So it's kind of crazy. Like a guy who's in that business, the adult film business, other guys gonna look at him like, high five. You did a scene with who, and who. Whereas a woman says, I'm in the adult film business, and dudes is like, they might want to do something with her, but they ain't really trying to. It ain't a flex. They ain't really trying to holler at us. But for this dude, it's a flex. Kind of crazy how it works, but that's the game. Got to learn the game if you want to master it.
Entrepreneur. Sorry, you're an entrepreneur now. You run, was it an e-commerce business or some kind of online business?
Yes. In fact, the URL's right there. I mean, that's my platform. So.
All right. Well, you're kind of famous on Twitter. Like this guy Andrew here obviously knows you. He's his best Twitter account in the game. I mean, you're kind of famous on the X platform for. I think the thing that caught my attention at first was that you basically stated that you don't date, like you don't do dates anymore. It's either come over to my place on the first meeting or I'm not wasting my time. If I may, I'm just going to show the screen caps because you got the receipts up over there.
Yo, is that bread or buns? Come to my place or
studio's not working.
That's wow.
There we go. Kind of walk me through what'll happen here, because I mean this is what really gets most people's attention. So I'll just read this out, and then maybe you can add a little bit of commentary insight to it. But it says Addie, then in brackets says Black T something or other. It says, hey Addie, I guess this is Jay here. So where do you live? Down to meet up tonight. She says, I'm in Gardenia. Where are you located? You go on to say, all right, I'm downtown LA. Don't think we're that far apart. You should come by to my place and have some drinks and watch a movie together, chit chat, get to know one another, cuddle, etc. How's 7 p.m. tonight sound? Very non-threatening, obviously, like a very suave sort of way to open it up. She goes, nope, 20-ish minutes sounds good. So no protest for your offer to come over. This is a first date, obviously, right?
Yes. Never met her.
Yeah. And then you continue on. All right, do you need a ride or do you drive? So you're taking care of the facilitating her getting to your place. You either offer to pick her up or send an Uber or something. She goes, I drive. Okay, cool. I'm sure we'll enjoy our time together. And then you go on to say, yeah, I'm a lifeguard. Sounds good. You too. Oh, this is somebody else. Okay, so this is another.
Yeah, that's somebody else.
So, hey, Danielle.
So, dude, when he puts the numbers in, he'll put her first name and then her race. Black, white, looks like maybe Asian, Latino, whatever. So it's a memory jogger. Like, that's crazy. Dude's running through so many women that he has to put memory aids in there. So, wow. And again, this is just a regular dude. And keep in mind, guys, in the dating world, like Asian dudes are not at the top of as far as the most sought after demographic in the game. You know what I mean? Asian dudes and black women are pretty much towards the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to that. So, dude's probably not over 6 feet. You could tell dude ain't ripped. He's an average dude. I mean, just by appearances. What's the difference? He done figured something out. And really it's his confidence level is through the roof. Like just the stuff he's done, what he's been through, right? As a human, he's like, man, this is easy. This is easy work for me. They was about to lock me up for words where I come from. I managed to get over here. They let me in America. I'm doing what I can, making money, putting my money away, getting myself together. This is easy work. So when it comes to women, he's just going to run what he runs. And this is what y'all need to be doing, fellas. You guys need to come up with your plan, whatever it is, however you moving. You need to come up with that game and just stick to it. And then it is a numbers game. I think they're going to talk about numbers here in a minute, but at the end of the day, especially when you first start, you just got to be out here talking. You got to be out here talking. Know how to be non-aggressive. Learn how to place yourself in the right position. Say the right thing. They say, well, what's the right thing? What's the right thing to say? Go out there and figure it out. You're gonna say a bunch of wrong stuff, before you figure out what works and what doesn't work. But you got to keep going. You can't stop, right? You got to keep going. ABTS, y'all, always be talking shit. Go out here every chance you get, say hello, say something witty, make a compliment, break contact, see what happens, right? You see what he's doing, bro. And he's bringing us receipts. He's like, oh, it's just a couple girls. I'm like, bro, most guys don't even get this far. So let's continue.
So good to meet up after rehearsal tonight. You should come by my place, have some drinks, watch a movie together, chit chat, cuddle, etc. Exact same line. It's almost like a copy paste strategy that you're using.
Yeah.
Or if you're more comfortable with me going over to yours, I can do that too. Let me know. Hey, yeah, I'd love to. Your place is good. Just send me an address. I'll come over straight after rehearsal. Cool. Look forward to that. The bottom part of that's redacted. I'm assuming that's your address or something like that.
It is.
I live alone in a 1-bedroom apartment. Let me know when you're leaving so I can plan my time better. See you tonight, Danielle. Got another chick here, Dana. Where to you stay? One of those chicks, eh? Not too far downtown LA. I was heading out to get good, so I'm not really set on going to SM. What's SM?
Santa Monica.
Is that a part?
No idea. Santa Monica.
Okay. So not really set on going to Santa Monica tonight. You should drop by my place for some drinks, watch a movie together, chit chat, kick back, cuddle, etc. How's 8 p.m.? Exact same line. Good. See you at 8. No protesting from her whatsoever. Do you drive or should I get you an Uber? I'll Uber. Okay, my address. Right. We got another one here. You bet.
Yeah, I see what he's doing, bro. He figured out what works for him and he just kept doing it. That line when he's like, hey, you should just come by my place. He's not saying Netflix and chill, but that's what it is. Come by my place. That's huge in LA. Most people in LA do not live alone. That's a flex in and of itself. You got a 1-bedroom. You live by yourself. Bro, they're going to want to come over there. They probably live with a bunch of roommates. They get tired of going out. She said, I don't want to go to SM. I don't want to go to Santa Monica, which means that chick right there, that was a party girl. She's always out. And party girls be looking for a place where they can just go and relax. And out in LA, bro, that women aren't dumb. They get it. You got your own spot. Like, hey, why don't you come over here and kick it? She going to come over there and kick it. This is why your place got to look good, smell good, be comfortable, be clean, right? We'll talk about that down the road. But you get a woman over to your crib and she come in there, no roommates. Your place is right. It's clean. There's, you know what I mean? No bugs, right? I mean, no foul odors, right? The complex you live in is cool. Like, dude, downtown LA, there's some really nice spots downtown LA. Now, there's some really jacked up places down there too. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure he's not down there by Skid Row somewhere. He's probably, on one of those blocks that are pretty nice. You know what I mean? And downtown LA is vertical, so you're going into these high rises. Bro, once she comes in there, it's a wrap. She ain't trying to leave. She's not trying to leave. She wants to come in there and get comfortable and have a place for her to go slide to. All these women, they want a place to go slide to. That's part of the game in LA. Now, that won't help you in Atlanta, I don't think. That's not going to help you in, well, maybe it'll help you in Atlanta, but like the smaller cities, it's not going to help you per se in some of the smaller cities because the smaller cities, women have their own space. They can afford their own place in Cincinnati. They can afford their own place in Fayetteville, North Carolina, or Fayetteville, Arkansas. They can afford their own place in Dallas. So, they're like, I'll just sit here and chill. Those places, they're going to want to go out because they're trying to get that experience. They're trying to go to a nice restaurant and have you pay for it. So, but in LA, bro, there's so many people in LA that you can get women who are willing to come through and holler at you, bro. And just having your own apartment, no roommates, is a huge flex. We got Brother Pitney in the building. What's good, fam? That's right, bro. Slash to the left, slash to the right. Now crossover or cha-cha. Now cha-cha, bro. Because when I was in LA, that's the one thing I noticed, bro. You do have women out there who are used to dealing with the top tier guys, but most of the women in LA that I encountered were just regular women, they just chill. And it's a hustle out there, bro. And if you can provide a space where they can just come and relax, man, bro, you literally got to drag them out of there, man. They ain't going to want to leave. They're not going to want to leave.
Hey, Yvette, Alvin here. So Alvin's your pending?
That's my other name.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't blur that out. Holy shit. Okay, no. Never mind.
So where do you live? Down to meet up tonight. Hey there. Tonight's a little short notice for me, but tomorrow night I'm free. I live in Sherman Oaks. Well, cool. I live in downtown LA. You should come over, have some drinks, watch a movie together, chit chat, cuddle, etc. How's 7 p.m. sound? Yeah, that sounds great. Send me your address. Drops the address. I'll text you tomorrow of the day, blah, blah, blah. So like very clearly obvious. Now, how?
Now that last one there is Sherman Oaks. Like when you get into LA, Sherman Oaks, now you're starting to move up the ladder there. Like, so she's living in Sherman Oaks. She definitely has roommates, more than likely. If she has a spot by herself in Sherman Oaks, like, bro, she's doing all right. You know, Sherman Oaks, Studio City, parts of North Hollywood, you know, West Hollywood, depending on where, of course, Bel Air, Beverly Hills, those type places. You know, they're living, if that's where they're living, more than likely they got roommates. You know, not just one roommate, but plural, like roommates. Like that's when you get into that thing where it might be 4 of them sharing a 2-bedroom. So they're looking for space. And like, oh, girl's like, this is last minute. I can't come tonight, but I'll come see you tomorrow. Y'all see, dude, again, I want to stress. Like you look at homeboy, right? He is killing the game. And, you know, dudes will look at this like, I don't know, he's got to be lying. He's not lying, man. He's mastered his game. He knows what he's doing, and it works. And at that point, it's just a matter of just approaching women. I'm curious to know how he met these women, to be honest with you. Like, all right, where did you run up on these women? A lot of times in LA, you will meet them going to like a yoga class or going to some sort of acting class or some sort of improv class, or you meet them at an audition. Like there are places, most people, when I talk to them, like, where'd you meet so-and-so? Like, oh, I was doing this audition, or oh, I was in this acting class, or I was doing whatever. Back in the day when I first got there in the late 90s, Tybo. Like going to your gym, that was like another flex. You meet people and they just hang out together, right? So I wonder how he met these women.
How successful has this strategy been for you when it comes to getting chicks to come over on the first date? Because you don't do dates anymore.
Very successful, but there's a caveat. So these numbers, I don't simply take numbers. You know, guys try to maximize the number of numbers they have, but to me, not all numbers are created equal. So unless a girl is high interest in me and a girl has indicated that she would like to spend some time with me, I wouldn't take her number. So because I only want high quality numbers in my pipeline, I don't want low quality numbers clogging up my texting app. Which is why
they're all called genuine burning desire, and I think I've seen you quote that as well too.
Right, genuine burning desire. There you go.
Another thing too, bro. Look in the background, man. Look into his kitchen. Like he's on his phone. He's on his cell phone doing this split screen thing. Kitchen's kind of cluttered. Stuff on the refrigerator, stuff on the counters. You know, can't really see. You know, doesn't have the traditional stainless steel that you see in like the the real nice apartments. He probably has one of the old school joints where he had to buy his own refrigerator and bring it in. Maybe he has carpeted floors, not hardwood or whatever, or the laminate or whatever. I'm just kind of looking, and it just reemphasizes the point that he has his own space, and the better your space looks, the better it is for you. But it doesn't even have to be like pristine. Like you come in there and just it looks lived in, it's cluttered or whatever. Just so long as it doesn't smell bad and you don't have bugs, you should be good. You know what I mean? But, bro, the LA game is different. And this guy is bringing women over constantly.
But obviously, if you haven't even met these girls, then, I mean, they're really still trying to feel you out. But even then, you can still tell if they have high interest or low interest in you. And if they have low interest in me, I try not to take the number, because to me, I'm not about maximizing numbers. I'm about maximizing lays.
So what are strong indicator of interest versus the indifferent chicks? Like, what's the difference between those two? If you can spell it out for viewers.
Well, you can kind of tell if, first of all, it's responsiveness. Like first of all, I got all these numbers from the apps, right? Specifically Tinder.
Whoa.
How quickly the
Whoa. He's doing this all off the dating apps. Damn. Now you want to look at his profile. Damn, he's doing all this off the dating apps. I'm thinking he's meeting people in person. I'm listening to him talk. I'm watching his mannerisms. And it's like, bro, he is so, I mean, his conversational skills are average at best. So he's doing all this off the dating apps. Shit. Shout out to him, man. You know, hey, Don DeMarco, Marco.
respond to you, how many words they use when they text you, um, whether they open or you open, that matters. And most importantly, I think if your profile is crafted in a certain way, it tells a certain story, and they still swipe right, then they're a high quality lead. If you catch my drift, because a lot of guys' profiles, it's they put whatever photos they have in their phones, they write whatever garbage comes to mind in their profile. So a lot of these leads are just unqualified. With my profile is very deliberate, like it is crafted in a very specific way. Every single photo is a thirst, quote unquote, thirst trap. My profile is full of like innuendo, so a lot of girls will be scared off and swipe left, and that's fine. But the 20 or 30% or however many percent, it might be 5%, I don't know. The other girls who swipe right, I know that there's a good chance that they want to do something physical with me.
What's the bio say? Like, what does the profile bio say?
My bio, I have something that it's like a very short paragraph, but it reads off like literotica. So it's like, you know, I'm gonna caress you, I'm gonna hold your back and something, and then you tremble, you have like tingling sensation down your toes. I had a whole paragraph. Yeah,
bro. Again, nothing against this brother right here, but the fact that he's able to get one woman, just one, the fact that he can just get one woman, he's blowing out a third of the dudes. More than a third of the guys can't even get one. Like if this guy, if this stuff holds, if this is true, like, you know, it's one thing to have your social media say thing and have your Twitter or whatever, and he's showing these, you know, he's showing his receipts. He's showing that these women were willing to come over to the crib. You know, allegedly they came over to the crib, you know, and again, allegedly he smashed. It is what it is. Let's say he did. Let's just accept everything as truth, right? Let's just accept it as truth. He has put in a lot of work to get there. So many dudes don't want to put that work in. And this is why I tell guys, you can't be the best. You can't chase success and chase women. Right? I mean, you can, but you can't do them both well. Like you got to do one or the other. I say work on yourself until you get to a certain point. Like, you know, become the best version of yourself, build your money up, get everything right. Then, you know, I mean, the women going to show up. You get to the finish line, women going to be there. Rich Cooper says that all the time. But I'm just listening to this guy talk. He's not very smooth, right? Even Rich is kind of, you know, trying to help him out. The guy's not very smooth. But because of social media and whatever it is he wrote in his profile, it seems to be working. I'm blown away. I really thought he was meeting these women in the trenches. Like he's getting these women off of the dating apps. Wow. Wow. I mean, Brother Pitney's like, if you're not a fan of the apps, coffee shops, parks, and even art museums are great places to meet women. Facts. Facts, especially in LA. Go to LACMA, bro. You go to LACMA, women will come up to you. If you're at a certain, you know, that's the LA County Museum of Arts, I think is what it is. But LACMA is the acronym. You go there, you go to the museum. It's right at the tar pits, like the La Brea tar pits, which is, if you've ever been to LA, definitely check that out. It's a cool thing to see. Like you can smell the tar, then you go into the museum part and they show you everything they done pulled out of that tar pit. But go there on certain nights when they're doing something special, some little whatever, one-off event or whatever. Some maybe they had like some sort of, you know, maybe they're playing some Beethoven or Bach, some classical music. They might have a trio or a quartet there. Check it out. Or maybe some sort of meetup event or whatever. Just go there. And when women to see you moving around by yourself, looking at the art, they'll come up and talk to you, bro. They'll come up and talk to you. Especially if you dress properly, you know what I mean? You moving like you're not a weirdo, they're going to come holler at you, man. Same thing with the ballet. People get on me. I'm like, man, I'm all about the arts. You'll see me at the ballet. I'll go see Swan Lake. It's my favorite ballet. You'll see me at, you know, going to see the Nutcracker during the holiday season, depending on which ballet troupe is doing it. But I can't tell you how many times I have women invite me to come do stuff that night. Like, what's up? Go to theater, go watch musicals and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And a lot of times I'll bring a dime with me. That's just a friend. I just got, cap it down with you. And boy, when the women find out that that's not my woman, that's just my friend, man, they come over, they want to holler. So there are different ways to do it, guys, but I'm just blown away that this guy's getting the results he's getting off the apps, man. We got to keep listening to this.
Like Christian Grey sort of stuff, but but
chicks,
it passes the Tinder algorithm and it doesn't get you banned.
You gotta craft it in a more I don't want to say family friendly, but more acceptable way.
You drop the hint, but you make it clear that you're not looking for marriage. You're obviously looking for fun. Got it.
Absolutely. And the vast majority of chicks will probably swipe left on you, and that's fine. As long as not all of them swipe left.
Okay. So at what point did you decide to abandon the conventional let's go out for a coffee and meet? Like, can you tell us the story behind that? Because it's very unusual for guys nowadays to use this strategy and have success with it, like to just get right to the point of I'm here for intimacy and that's it.
Right. So I'm slightly older. I'm 36, right? So I started using dating apps in my mid-20s back then. And back then I was doing the whole traditional dating thing. And I did it to pretty good success, which means that I took the girls out. I even took them out to dinner. That's fine. There was this English pub place it was like 5 minutes from my place. Mm-hmm. So I took them out there and it was okay. And I would say maybe 60-70% of them went home with me, and that was fine. And even the 30 or 40% who didn't go home with me, I could tell that they tried their best. They tried their best to get into it. They just didn't feel it. Mm-hmm. But then I think back in 2015, I met this Asian chick, and she was the one who suggested that we should go and get sushi. And obviously right now it would be a red flag to me if a girl suggested the place or the restaurant or the bar. That's a huge red flag, but I didn't know it back then. That was like 10 years ago. She just couldn't make it clearer that she was just there for food. I tried to make conversation, one with responses. She showed contempt. I tried to sit next to her in the restaurant. She was like, why don't you just go sit opposite me? Don't be so close to me. I was like, that was a bit of a curveball to me back then. Mm-hmm. And then after the date, obviously, I do my usual thing, which is like, do you want to spend some time back home? Because it's my practice. I make it a habit to ask them to go home with me, regardless of how the date went. So she gave me the whole speech. Oh, I got to go back early. I got to sleep early. I have work the next day. And that was that. And I went home. I did the whole over analyzing thing. I thought, okay, shit, did I talk too much? Did I try to be physical too quickly? Did I sit next to her too soon? Or was I not funny enough? Was my clothes wrong? Did I order the wrong thing in the restaurant for her? Blah, blah, blah. And I was very hard on myself. But after a few days, it just hit me that, you know what? Hold on a second. Like, she just wanted a free meal. And it never hit me before, because back in 2015, a foodie call, never even heard the term. It wasn't even a thing back then. Mm-hmm. But it affected me so deeply that I went on the internet. I went on Reddit. Back then there was this sub called r/seduction. I'm not sure if it's still there. And then I came across this post that this guy was making wild claims, like, oh, I slept with 30 girls in the last 3 months or something like that. I was like, give me a break. And I clicked it and I was like, okay, here's what you do. First, you never ever take them out on a date. I was like, okay, that's bold. Second, you ask them to come over right away. Very, very bold. And then you do this, and that. When she comes over, you put a whole bunch of stuff on the chairs in your house so that she has no choice but to sit on the bed, blah, blah, blah. It was this whole blueprint. And I was like, I was just learning. I was having my mind open at the time, but it was all very revolutionary to me. And that was back in 2015. And you look at the comments, everyone was so fucking angry. Everyone was like, you fucking liar. Yeah. If you did that, I'm the king of England. Nobody believed him. Mm-hmm. But I saw it and I was like, he was responding too. So I was like, no way. I'm like, maybe I should try this out. And so I did. Because I had enough volume back then. When you have enough volume, when you have enough matches in your Tinder, you're not that scared. You don't have that scarcity mentality because
LA is a big city.
Yeah, So you have.
Yeah, man, was I on the dating apps in LA? I was, but I met women in the trenches, and I met women in chat rooms way back in the early 2000s, late 90s. I met women at comedy shows and different events. I didn't. I really wasn't on the apps like that, like the dating apps like that. There was Match, and I would go to events like Lock and Key events and stuff like that. But man, I never really was on the dating apps like that. But LA is a big city, and I'm listening to this dude. I'm watching him. I'm hearing this story, and what I'm hearing is a guy who basically modified his game. He was doing his thing, like he said. I was taking him out for dinner. I get this one woman, then I realize he has that epiphany moment. Man, she just wanted dinner. She wanted me to pay for dinner. Right after he went through everything, I didn't do anything wrong. What happened? Man, she just wanted. Probably got ghosted right after. Never heard from her again. She just wanted to go to that sushi joint, and she wanted someone else to pay for it. That's the game. Chalk it up to the game. So what did he do? He went looking for answers, right? That's how most dudes find themselves in the red pill world, the manosphere. Something like that happens. They have an epiphany moment. They go online and they fall down one of these rabbit holes. So he's listening to some dude who's saying all this stuff like, man, I'm bagging like 10 girls a month. I'm doing this and that. And you listen to, get them to come back to the house. Don't take them out. They'll come over, strategically block where they can sit. So you're, in a sense, you're only leaving them an option to sit probably next to you, whatever. I never did anything like that, but I can see, okay, that makes sense. I can see that. If you're dealing with a girl whose game is on point, she'll just move the stuff out the way. Simple as that. I would allow people, I always had like a single chair in my living room, and then I would have like a sofa, probably like an L or some sort of like a sofa love seat kind of thing. I would let her sit, and I know you could tell right away if she plops down on that chair by herself. All right, that's cool. I'll let her sit there for a minute. Put on a movie, whatever you're gonna do. Got the music playing or whatever. Ask her if she wants a glass of wine. You bring her a glass of wine. Put the wine on the coffee table, which is closer to where I'm sitting, and eventually, get the conversation going. Within 10, 15 minutes, if she doesn't come sit next to me, then she ain't really feeling me like that. I'm gonna wrap it up. Call her car. That was before Uber. Just kind of, take her home or walk her downstairs to her car or whatever. But I can see where dude's coming from. I can see where he's coming from. He had that epiphany moment, and then he went to modify his game. And what Rich is saying is like, yo, you got a lot of matches in your Tinder because you're in LA. Like, dude, you're in LA. If you're just gonna run numbers, you're in LA. So it makes sense. But we all know, like, for most dudes, the dating apps, man, you got to go through tens of thousands of women just to get you a match. And this dude is just trying to smash. So it is what it is. Brother Pitney's like, I hope he's not returning to Justin Mark. I hope he's not referring to Justin Mark. My bad. I should put my glasses on. See, that guy's cringe. I have no idea who that is. Like that subreddit, that r/seduction or whatever. Never heard of it. I've never been a big Reddit person. Never really got into Reddit. But that's probably who he's talking about. And I look at even the guys in the pickup artistry world, like, Playing with Fire and all that stuff over there on that channel. I listen to those dudes and I look at these dudes. It's like, yeah, they're average guys, man. Like this is something I really want to drive home. If this dude is successful, and by being successful, meaning he's had intimacy with one woman per year, that puts him, that puts him in a category. What am I trying to say? Less than a third of men can do that. Right? Less than 1/3 of men can do that today. And that's probably higher. So if he's out there smashing 1 or 2 a year, like, bro, he's up there. He's up there in the higher echelon. So shout out to him.
This endless options. And if every day you know that you're going to get like 5 or 10 new matches, you don't worry. So I was like, okay, what if I use half of these chicks for an experiment and ask them to come over right away? And then the other half, I just use my usual game. And I did that, and a lot of them actually just came right over. So after that, I was like, holy shit, this fucking works. This fucking works. I can just skip the whole fucking dinner or drinks thing, and these girls would come over. And I did. After that, I just got rid of the whole dating thing, because it made me realize that, you know what, they would have come over anyway, the ones who said yes. So why am I indulging in the whole formality of taking them out to a date? Because they like me, I like them. What's the problem? Why do we have to pretend to get to know each other over food when we just really want to get down to it?
I had a woman. This was in Miami. This was in Miami. Real cool. Like she was a grad student, or she was just finishing college, or she was a grad student. Met her with a bunch of her friends. Again, I'm always out when I meet folks. Attractive, cool. Invited her to come over. This is when I was living in Brooklyn. This was like 2000. This is 2010, 2009, 2010, somewhere in there. And I'm like, hey, why don't you come through? So this is before Uber. So she drove to my place. So, had valet or whatever. So she valeted the car. Of course, I was going to take care of that because the building had valet. Brought her upstairs. She came in because I wanted her to see the view or whatever. Had a wraparound balcony. It was a beautiful place overlooking the river. So you can see the drawbridges. It was great. And she came in. She sat in a single chair, very closed in. As a matter of fact, she sat at the dining room table. Didn't even come over to the living room area. Like a dining room table, she was very like closed in. And I'm like, all right, cool. Hey, let's walk over to Brickell, because that was the plan. Like, you're going to meet me in my place. We're going to walk over to Brickell, and then we'll, kick it, whatever. Get a couple drinks, some appetizers, whatever. And that's what we did. We went over, walked over to Brickell, and we stopped and got, where did we stop? We went to a few places. I know Red Bar was one of the joints we went to. We grabbed a bite somewhere. We were getting drinks, whatever, and we went to Transit Lounge. Now it's called Blackbird, but back then it was Transit Lounge. That's where we ended. Transit Lounge, then we went back to the crib. Bro. She was basically sitting on my lap. The night went well, bro. Big up.
Tell what in Frisco I say.
You know what I have to tell them, say? Big up my girl on the side, cause of them flex the best.
Yeah, big up to them girls. So we had a good old time. And Brother Pitney, I feel you, man. The PUAC, I didn't know about pickup artistry until I moved here to Florida. But the no chair thing, I didn't, it makes sense to me. Never heard about it until I got out here in 2020. But I'm with you. This is how I would move, right? If she passes over him, she jumps right into the bed, and you in there like swimwear, facts. But if she just takes a seat, she doesn't want to sit next to you, she's kind of sitting away from you, yeah, you got to build more attraction. You got work to do, facts. And the fact that a woman comes to see you in the first place, bro, that means she's down. So the story I just told you, like, hey, why don't you come? We're going to go out. She came to my place, came right up to the spot. Then we leave and we come back. Bro, she had the time of her life. And a lot of that had to do with, she wanted to fill me out further. Like, okay, what type of person are you really? I've been around you with my friends, and you've had a couple of your people around, but this is the first time we were one-on-one. She wanted to see what type of person I was really. And we went out, we had a good time. And I mean, bro, that night when we went out, I might have spent $50, maybe. I don't think it was that much, but I knew everywhere I went, I knew bartenders and servers and stuff like that. So I was getting discounts. So if I spent $50, it would have probably cost everybody else $150. You know what I mean? Because I was getting every other meal was comped, like every other appetizer was comped, every other drink was comped. So, you got work to do, guys. If you're going to do that, in order to save money, you want to build those relationships. But yeah, man, she came back to the crib and it was on. And I mean, to this day, we cool. If I were to see her walking down the street, it's nothing but love. You know what I mean? Like, she went on to find her person and got married and all that. And I believe she has a couple of little ones. So, I mean, she's doing great. And, like I said, we still cool. Like, it was no drama. But she came in, though. She was closed up, man. She was real closed up, and she was kind of cold with it. We took a walk across the bridge, went to Brickell, had a good time, was dancing, partying, doing our thing, came back, and it was on. Like, she was happy and was always cool from that point on. And she was telling her friends that I was cool. So she was co-signing to have her friends come over. Fellas, when you let them know what time it is, they'll like, hey, that guy was a fun time. You might want to jump on that ride. They will tell their friends. Let's continue.
Yeah, it's incredible that we're at this point now, because this is a relatively new revelation. Like, even in my first book when I wrote it, like, my recommendation was still at that time, coffee date, 1 hour sniff test, see what they're all about, escalate a little bit. And then, if you want to get into the intimacy, like, you can do that round 2 or something like that. But this strategy, like, you've posted the receipts. I've seen you post in your timeline or share screens of some of your other followers that have done the exact same thing.
Yes.
Or versions of that. But it always seems to be like the same sort of line that pops up. What is it again? You should come by my place, have some drinks, watch a movie together.
It works. I can't tell why, but it works.
So how far through drinks, watch a movie together, chit chat, get to know one another, cuddle, etc.? Like, at what point do you usually get to the bang?
Okay, so it's very, from a girl's perspective, it's like, oh, this guy is so smooth. Everything was just right. We had great chemistry, blah blah blah. But from my end, from my perspective, it's actually planned down to like every single detail.
I would say about halfway through the first bottle of wine. But if she's a whiny, then she drinks a lot of wine. Probably after that first bottle of wine, she'll be ready to go. But let's hear what he has to say.
So when they first arrive, I always go in for a hug, break the touch barrier right away. I turn off all the lights in my apartment, and then I just turn on a movie on Netflix. I tell them where to sit, which is next to me on the couch. And, the drinks thing is really, at first I took it seriously. So I stocked up my apartment with like alcohol, liquor, wine, beer, whatever it is that a chick might want to drink. And then I realized that most of them don't really want to drink. Like, it's really just a figure of speech. So anyway, I turn on a movie. I usually pick a movie that's very popular, a movie that everyone has seen. So back in my day, I usually played Mean Girls, because every chick has seen Mean Girls. I have seen Mean Girls millions of times because of the same, I've been playing the same movie over and over again for these chicks. Okay, and this is the part where it might be a little funny, because so get this, I'm only meeting these chicks for the first time, right? So a lot of times I'm pretty nervous myself. So
why would you be nervous, homie?
What I usually do is I pop a Viagra right before they arrive, and then that thing takes a little time to react in my body. And while that does its job, I just sit like this with my arm across her, and we just talk, because the reason I play a movie that everybody has seen is because I don't want her to be paying attention to the movie. That's like hell no. Like, I want her to
noise.
Yeah, it's just white noise. Exactly. So I want her to be talking to me. I turn off all the lights because, it works better. Girls tend to be, they resist more when there's a light, shining on them, I guess. They feel like they're in the spotlight.
Listen to him break this down, guys. Like I said, like, this is the average dude. This is the run-of-the-mill. This is the guy. Like, this is, like I said, on a scale of 0 to 10, we all fit between 4 and 6. That's where he is. He's somewhere in the 4 and 6 range, but he's killing the game, right? So I thought he was using alcohol. It sounds like he started out, but he's like, he realized that it didn't really matter. So what I'm hearing, it sounds to me, like we say all the time, when a woman meets you, she knows right away if she gonna smash or not. Ask any woman, she'll tell you. When they meet you, they know, like, this is somebody I could see myself smashing. Just don't screw it up. Like, don't put your foot in your mouth. Doesn't sound like he's saying a lot. Turns off all the lights. Me, I would add candles to that equation. Scented candles, man, are always a win. So I would have candles lit. You got the TV going on. You got the white noise in the back. He's popping the Viagra. I've never done that. Okay, that's his thing. Cool. But he's already broken down any possible barriers that might be there. She came in. He gave her a hug. Right? He's got his arm around her. She's there, man. Like, women aren't stupid, fellas. Women aren't stupid. Right? When they come to your crib, they know what time it is. And your role is to not screw it up. So it sounds like this guy has mastered the art of not screwing it up. And sounds like he's getting results. But it's nothing smooth about this dude. Like, the way he's talking, is he nervous on a split screen talking to, Rich Cooper? Possibly. But this guy isn't smooth, bro. I don't see this dude cracking like cool little jokes or, telling cool stories with this woman. Like, I don't know, bro. it just sounds to me that he uses his dating profile. Women swipe right. They come meet him right away. They come in and they're comfortable. Like I said, he has a 1-bedroom and no roommates. So at least she's going to get just this time to be around just this one dude, as opposed to going back to her place and being around 3, 4, 5 people, however many roommates she has. Watching a movie, they're not even asking for food. It doesn't sound like they're just coming over, turns the movie on, and then within an hour or so, they're probably smashing.
So I would say about after 30, 40 minutes of chit chat, then I start, I just, because my hand's already here. So I just turn her face over to me, and then I'll just say, come here, kiss me. And then I'll just go in for the kiss. And then it just goes from there, because these chicks know what they're there for. So there's usually very little resistance.
What's your close rate with the strategy? Like, do you ever get rejected? Do they ever walk out? Like, what's the storyline with that for you?
And before he answers that, like in today's world, bro, he is taking chances. I doubt if he's filming. He certainly didn't have him sign an NDA. So he's definitely taking chances, in today's environment. But it doesn't seem like it's bit him in the butt. Like, these women do come over, they smash or whatever. He seems to keep them happy. But man, you're taking chances, guys. You bring them to the crib, they can leave your place and go straight to law enforcement and say that you forced yourself, you did this and that. So that's something to think about. But it doesn't sound like he's had any issues. This dude's gonna have to be careful now because he put his face out there. He should have just used some sort of emoji, but he put his face out there now. So ain't no telling what might happen moving forward.
Yeah,
you must have some interesting stories with that.
Good question. Like if anyone who has been following me on X for a while knows that I'm like very anti public date, because the rate of closing them is so low, because a lot of girls go out there for free food, free entertainment, free validation, free attention. And they think that if the girl comes over right away, it's like a surefire thing. And I'm here to tell you, after doing this hundreds of times, it is not a guarantee. I would say the close rate is it's pretty high. It's pretty high. I would say about 70, 80%. But some girls legit come here, they freeze up. Maybe they're not ready to go ahead with it. Some of them maybe have a change in energy. Maybe I don't know, but maybe they feel a bit catfished. Not sure. Some of them legit come over with like innocent ideas. Like, this chick came over and she was a college chick, and she was like, "Oh, I thought I was really just gonna do my homework because you said come over and do up my homework." Like, I'm like, oh my god, get real, man. You can't be that freaking dumb. Like, that's no way. But she legit was just trying to do her homework. So I was like, all right, do your homework and then get out of here. Whatever.
Like I said, quiet space. I want to come do my homework. It's gonna be quiet over there. You see, I can do my homework here. It is what it is. He chalked it up to the game. All right, do your homework and get out. Notice he didn't just put her out right away. That's a smart move. Like, this cat knows what he's doing. His closure rate sounds really high to me, but even if his closure rate was 35, 40%, that would be high. Like, that would be, that's fire. But the way I get down, by the time I bring you to the crib, we already have a relationship. So if you have a relationship with a woman, she comes to your crib, I could see, 75, 80, 85% closure rate, because that's what she's coming over there for. She's digging you. She wants to take it to the next step. But as a stranger, a woman who just comes over, doesn't know you, all she knows is the back and forth on the dating app and or texting back and forth, and she comes over to smash. I mean, yeah, this is, like I said, bro, this is a brand new day out here. These young girls trying to get it in. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bro. That 80% closure rate sounds high. You know what I mean? It sounds high to me, but like I say, even if it was 40%, 45%, that's still, that's good. That is good. If 4 out of 10 women came into your crib and you smashed them, bro, that's really good. That's what I thought. Like, that's, 10%. Sounds about right. If you in there between 10 and 40%, I'm thinking like you really killing the game. And especially the way he's doing it, he's bringing strangers over. And he mentioned the thing, like some come over and it's like, oh, they feel they got catfished. because they was expecting something else. Maybe it's the height component or something like that. Some come over, like I said, the girl came to do her homework. Man, I would think his closure rate would be way lower than that. Even Rich Cooper's kind of sitting here listening like, well, yo, that sounds pretty high. That's a really high closure rate.
It happens. So my principle is that even for the girls who come over right away, there is a drop off. Like it's not 100% guarantee. So I just don't understand why guys insist on doing things the hard way, meeting them outside, and then the drop off is like 80-90%,
That's all they know.
Yeah.
What age range do you usually date in when it comes to inviting them over?
Right. So back then I set my profile to 18 to 29, and the vast majority of the girls who came over were like, okay, the youngest was 18, obviously. I had some odd ones, like some odd ones in their 40s and 50s, but mostly they're in their early 20s. So my theory is that girls really want to get the wild stuff out of the way in their early 20s.
Yeah,
and
those
then
are the party years.
Yeah, and then they focus on the serious stuff in their mid to late 20s. So most of them early 20s.
Yeah. You've been very vocal and anti-marriage.
Yes.
Are you anti inviting the government in your house? Are you anti living with a woman? Are you anti, like, what part of marriage is it that repulses you so badly?
Oh, first, I'm anti everything that you mentioned.
Yeah.
The government thing, the cohabitation thing.
Mhm.
The government thing is obvious because we don't want.
You'd think it would be obvious, but for a lot of guys, it still isn't.
I mean,
right. And I haven't watched this whole thing. I'm gonna watch the rest of it. This whole thing is about an hour. It's almost 2 hours, like an hour and 51 minutes. So I'm pretty sure they cover some good stuff. I'm not gonna run the whole thing now. I'm gonna go through it and take some notes. But like the marriage thing, I don't even think we need to discuss. I tell dudes this, bro. If you want to get married, fine. Just understand how that game goes. That's it. If you want to date someone who has children from a previous relationship, fine. Just understand what you're signing up for. Right? Don't go crying to me. If you decide to date and or marry a single mom, it doesn't work out, and you're either mad because A, you can't see the kids anymore, and you done forged this bond with these children and you can't see them anymore, and you've hurt because of it, or B, you're paying child support for those children that aren't even your biological children. And that happens a lot. You can be like a state like California. If you're dating a woman who's a single mom and, you dating her for 4 or 5 years and that child has been around you, and she can go to court and say, well, this is the only man, the only father my child has ever known. The court like, yeah, you're right. Slam the gavel down like, dude, you're the financial father and you're financially responsible, so you're gonna have to pay child support. Yeah, you'll get co-parenting rights. I guess that's how they do it out there, but you're gonna be paying child support, bro. It's insane. And then if you're dealing with women who know how to work the system, they'll get your money and then lie to the court and say that you did something to the kids. So now you can't even see the kids, but you got to pay the money, or you get, supervised visitation or whatever. My thing is, if that's what you choose to do, bro, you knew what could happen going in. You knew the consequences. You did it. Live with it. Right? Point blank, period. You want to cohabitate with a woman. I used to do that. I won't do it again. I'll never do that again. Now with a woman that I'm smashing, you want to cohabitate with a woman, as a roommate sort of thing. If you want to do that, okay, I guess. But understand, if she's a drama queen, she brings some drama into your home, you might find yourself in a situation where you're fending off some dude who's trying to hurt her, whether she deserves it or not. You got to do something about it. Again, I could put you in a situation that you don't want to be in. You walking into your house and all of a sudden you see some chaos. What do? Right? So you got to think about that as well. But just understand the game. I just tell dudes, man, just understand the game. Once you understand what's going on, if you want to get married, fine, by all means get married. If you don't get a prenup, I don't want to hear you crying about it later. If you get divorced, I don't want to hear you crying about it because you knew what was happening. You knew what you signed up for. That's me. To me, that's the red pill message I want to get out to y'all. Like, just understand what you're doing and then move forward. Make your decision. Right? Simple as that. Because I don't see myself getting legally married, but it was a time when I wanted to. Why? Because that's the way we were raised. That Disney fairy tale, bro, is powerful. It's powerful, and that's how most men are raised. Women are sugar and spice and everything nice, and, you want to wife her up and be that knight in shining armor. Okay, fine, but you better pick the right woman. Pick the correct woman. Don't pick the wrong one. Don't choose poorly. You choose poorly, it can cost you, especially if you have something. Right? So we're going to leave it there. Shout out to Rich Cooper, man, and to this dude, Jay. Shout out to them. I lived in LA for a long time. I saw a bunch of dudes like Jay out there doing their thing. His success rate sounds really high to me, but I'm going to take him at his word. Okay. You getting them come back to the crib, there's a really good chance that she's going to want to do something with you. If you're better than 50%, man, that's every other girl comes back to your crib, smashes you. That's really good. I honestly thought that he was just running his game in the Asian communities because, Southern California, man, like every Asian community is there. South Koreans, Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, the Malaysians, the Thai people, Philippines, Laotians are out there. Like, who else is out there? I mean, it's just so many areas. You got Little Saigon, not too far from LA. That's down south. Alhambra is an area that has a lot of like the Asian community, like a lot of different subsets there. You got Koreatown. You got Little Tokyo that's close to downtown. There's an area like Little Saigon, not too far, like a huge Vietnamese population. There's Thai, like there's a Thai area, like where all the Thai people from Thailand live. Like, bro, it's and if you're an Asian person, I would imagine like you're probably killing the game. I know some Korean guys that was killing the game, like just in Koreatown, killing the game. That's what I thought this story was gonna be like. Be honest with you, I thought he was gonna be running. This is what I've been doing. This is how I run my game. I had no idea that he's on the dating apps doing all this. Wow. I ain't gonna lie. I'm impressed. If he's doing all this just based on Match or Tinder or whatever dating app he's on, wow. But again, it's LA and it's very crowded in LA, and people, women in particular, they would love a place to go and just relax. And if you are a guy and they feel safe around you and you don't have any roommates and you have a 1-bedroom, I can see them wanting to come over and hang out. I mean, I can see that. And then he didn't mention anything about a rotation. It sounds like he's just bringing them over, smashing, and then moving on to the next one. So it's like they get to hit and then they don't come back. I mean, it is what it is. If you get it like that, bro, if that's how you getting it, man, more power to you if that's what you want. But it takes a lot of work. A lot of work, guys. So can anyone be an F-boy? Yeah. Anyone can be an F-boy if they're willing to put in the work. That's what it boils down to, guys. You gotta be willing to put in the work. Trial and error, just like he was saying. This dude was saying it was trial and error. He was trying things that worked and he was trying things that didn't work, and he kept modifying his game, and he got it to the point to where, I'm not taking them out on dates. They coming right over to the house. Okay. And then once they get there, I got a better than 80% chance they're going to let me smash. Okay, cool. That's what you want to do. Cool. But that's it. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to leave it there. I'm definitely going to come back maybe later tonight. I want to talk about the economy, like what's going on right now. I think that tough times are coming, guys. I think we're headed for some very, very financially rough waters. Like I said before, I think I said this over a year ago. This is going to be worse than the Great Recession. It's not going to be quite as bad as the Great Depression. I think we're going to fall somewhere in between, which means this is going to hurt. I think the Great Depression was like, 20% unemployment? Something like that. I think we're going to hit around 16, 17% unemployment with this thing that's coming up, maybe higher. Right? And There's going to be a problem with the banks. I think we're going to lose some more small community banks and regional banks. Then we're going to lose some of those. And that's going to be because of all that corporate debt that's out there. But we'll see. We're going to definitely talk about that soon, guys. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed that little talk about, can you be an F-boy? You can. You can be an F-boy. If that dude Jay can do it, you can certainly do it. Just got to get out there and get your game together and just understand, man, chasing women takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy. I say that energy is better spent becoming the best version of yourself, getting your money right, getting yourself together, get to the finish line. And once you get to the finish line, it's going to be nothing but quality women waiting there, because a lot of women like to wait the finish line and they smash the winners, man. Shout out to Rich Cooper and shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. I am DL Saint, man. Yeah, I'm definitely going to come back tonight, Brother Pitney. Appreciate that, man. I'm definitely going to come back tonight. We'll be back tonight, guys. We're going to come back tonight and we're going to talk about what's going on financially, bro. Got to talk about it because it's here. It is here. It's no longer coming. It is here. We're hitting the outer bands of this, this financial hurricane is about to hit America, bro. So I'll see you guys tonight. It'll probably be around 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully I'll see y'all there. I'm DL Saint. This is that Really Want to Know podcast. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.